guys, Ray Bashir here with Blue Shield Tactical Systems. Today I wanted to talk about action versus reaction. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I'm seeing a lot on the internet in reference to the officer shot the person who had a firearm who was not pointing the firearm at the officer. And there's a concept, a lack of a concept, that citizens have in reference to this. Why should an officer shoot a person that has a gun down to their side? One thing, the person's not following the verbal commands that the officer is giving to drop the weapon. Now, numerous videos that we see out there, and the first thing we're seeing is people failing to comply with the officer's commands. It's a simple concept. I'm a police officer. So if I'm off duty and I'm here and I have a gun that's out because I've drawn down on a person who's committed a crime, a felony, or whatever it may be, and I'm making contact with them, and other law enforcement officers pull up and they get out of their cars and they point their weapon at me and they say, get on the ground or drop the gun. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Even if I feel that the officer is wrong in some situation, I'm still going to comply, because there's going to do no good for me to resist verbally or physically by pulling away. And we see people arguing with the law enforcement officers. They're telling them to drop the weapon. They're not dropping the weapon, and they're saying things to the officer. And people on the internet are saying, well, he didn't point the gun, so why is the officer shooting? So I wanted to give a demonstration of that today to explain that. And it's the action versus reaction. You know, they're kind of like the game you play where their hands are out and the person's hands are over the top of you, and you reach and you slap their other hand. This is a good demonstration. So if you'll help me, sir, real quick. So if you don't mind standing here for me. So to the side, so we're facing each other. Now what we're going to do here, guys, is Rock here is going to play the police officer in this situation. And he's going to point his weapon at me. I am the bad guy, and I have my gun down to my side. Now he's obviously going to be giving me verbal commands to drop the weapon, and I'm not complying like I should. Now what I want him to do is he is going to say the number 1 whenever he sees me raise this gun to shoot him. I am going to say the number 2, so you'll hopefully see the distinct difference there in reaction time. Okay? So we're here. As soon as you see me raise this, I want you to go 1, okay? Which indicates he pulled the trigger. I will go 2. Okay, ready? 2.
1.
Ready?
1.
2. What is the best that he does? Watch closely again. Ready? 2.
1.
He ties. That's the best that he does. Thank you, sir. That's the best that he does in a situation generally. And he knows. He knows I'm going to raise the weapon. He knows I'm going to point it at him. You'll notice, obviously, these are training weapons, guys. Do not do this at home with a live weapon. You can use your finger if you want to do that, and you can give this demonstration as well. But again, he knows what I'm going to do, and he still cannot respond fast enough to be able to pull the trigger by the time I raise and pull the trigger. Now think about this. You as a citizen, would you want to be out on the street with a firearm in this situation and tie? Of course not. Because if the officer shot and killed during this situation, what if he shoots the officer in the head and the officer dies? Now this suspect, this person who decided to take this officer's life, now goes out and kills more people or kills citizens as well. So when the gun is down to the side and they're not giving, the officer's giving verbal commands and they're not dropping the weapon, it is a situation where the officer should be thinking about deadly force. Now, with that said, are there things that we can do in law enforcement that we can do better? Of course. Are there officers that do the wrong thing sometimes? Yes. And they should be prosecuted when they do. But at the same time, the things that we could do better as law enforcement agencies is, 1, provide our officers with more training. That's something we're not doing. Very few departments are teaching defensive tactics hands-on. So when the officer gets in that situation, they're extremely scared because they haven't been in that situation in years, because there's a lack of training within departments. Because they say, hey, we don't have enough budget, or we don't have the manpower to train. So that's becoming a problem. Better hiring standards for law enforcement agencies. We can do that as well. And a physical fitness for every officer that is inside of a department. A physical fitness. Doesn't matter how long you've been there, you still got to qualify every year in your physical fitness test. That's what we could do better. And of course, there could be numerous others that we could do a better job at. But I wanted to give you this concept today, guys, so that hopefully it will give you a little bit of insight to why officers do what they do. For other videos, please log on to blueshieldtactical.com. Thanks, and have a safe day.